She was 45 years old. Her name was Amber J. Foster. She lived in Lenexa, Kansas. She was last seen alive just before 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, December 14, 2025. The location was near West 87th Street Parkway and Winchester Street. She was walking alone. Her direction was toward Canyon Farms golf course. Her car was not missing. It was parked in a nearby garage. That detail mattered because it meant she did not vanish suddenly. She chose to walk. She expected to return. At the time she was last seen, she was wearing an orange t-shirt over a long-sleeve white shirt, along with blue jeans. There was no visible sign of distress, urgency, or anything wrong. And then, she disappeared. For the next 13 hours, no one could find her. No phone calls were answered. No messages were returned. No confirmed sightings were reported. And what happened after those 13 hours will shock you. The early morning in Lenexa was quiet. Streets were still. The kind of quiet that feels safe, lowering awareness instead of heightening it. Canyon Farms golf course sat open and empty, its paths stretching through a familiar landscape. Amber walked alone through an area that did not feel dangerous. Investigators later confirmed that surveillance cameras captured her only up to a certain point. After that, the record ends. No footage shows her turning back or meeting anyone. She simply exits the frame of certainty. This is where missing person cases become something else entirely. When the first hours passed without contact, concern did not immediately turn into panic. People assumed delays, busy moments, temporary silence. But Amber Foster was not someone who disappeared without explanation. That silence began to feel wrong. Phones were checked again. Messages sent again. Time passed anyway. By the time police were notified, the situation had already shifted. Officers understood immediately that the window mattered. When someone is last seen on foot, geography tightens. Distance shrinks. Every minute counts. Search efforts focused on the last known location. Paths, open land, edges of wooded areas, anywhere someone might stop or rest. At that stage, investigators considered everything, including that no crime might have occurred. But 13 hours passed. Then everything changed. The shift came quietly, through procedure, through reassessment. A missing walk had become something far more serious. Police began narrowing their focus. The distance between Amber's last confirmed location and the surrounding streets was walkable in minutes. That fact removed entire categories of explanation. She had not gone far. Whatever happened, happened close. This realization changes how investigators think. When someone is last seen walking and later found nearby, the event is rarely random in distance. Proximity suggests immediacy. It suggests a short timeline. The moment everything went wrong did not take long. Officers reviewed the same footage again, looking not just for Amber but for everything around her. Cars passing too slowly, vehicles stopping briefly, figures in the background, anything that didn't belong. Nothing obvious appeared. Search efforts intensified. The area around Canyon Farms golf course became central. Officers and volunteers moved methodically, scanning terrain that might hide someone from view. Hope still existed. Fragile, but present. Then, on Monday morning, December 15th, at approximately 11:30 a.m., police located a body. The location was the 17,800 block of West 86th Street. Less than 1 mile from where Amber was last seen alive. The search ended. The investigation began. Police confirmed the identity as Amber J. Foster. They did not release details about how she was found, cause of death, or circumstances. Those details were deliberately withheld. What they did confirm was that the case was now a death investigation. For the community, the distance was the most unsettling part. Less than a mile. A walkable distance. Close enough that the entire event unfolded within familiar streets. Investigators faced a compressed timeline. From just before 6 a.m. Sunday to late Monday morning, the window was narrow. Answers existed, but only if the right details could be uncovered. Police urged anyone in the area early Sunday morning to come forward. Even something insignificant might matter. Amber Foster had left her car expecting to return. She began a walk that should have ended normally. Instead, it ended less than a mile away. Once Amber Foster was found, everything about the previous 13 hours took on new meaning. The calm walk, the parked car, the lack of distress, each detail now felt heavier, more fragile, as if the outcome had been hidden in plain sight. Police did not describe the scene publicly, nor how her body was positioned or what evidence surrounded it. In investigations like this, silence is intentional. Every unreleased detail becomes a tool, separating truth from guesswork. The location where she was found raised immediate questions. West 86th Street is not remote wilderness. Roads people travel daily border it. Someone had been there during those hours. Someone may have noticed and dismissed it. Investigators began working backward, reconstructing Amber's movements in reverse. Where she was found, where she was last seen, where her car was parked. Each point formed a narrow triangle, confining the unknown to a small area. This is the kind of case where distance works against assumptions. Less than a mile means fewer opportunities for disappearance, fewer chances for error, fewer explanations that don't involve human interaction. Police examined whether Amber could have encountered someone accidentally. A passing driver, a fellow walker, someone already in the area. Crimes of opportunity often occur in moments that last seconds. The absence of witnesses does not mean absence of events. It often means no one realized what they were seeing. Detectives considered the timing. Early morning creates a unique risk profile. Fewer people, less noise, less interruption. Amber's clothing became part of the investigation. Bright colors stand out. If she had crossed paths with someone, she would likely have been noticed. The investigation moved quietly but intensely. Officers rechecked routes, examined whether her body had been in that location the entire time, or placed later. That question remained unanswered publicly. What mattered most? Amber Foster did not die far from where she was last seen alive. The space between those points now held all the answers. For Amber's family, the lack of information was almost as painful as the loss itself. Knowing she had been found did not bring understanding, it only confirmed the worst fear while leaving the most important questions unanswered. In public statements, police remained careful. They did not label the death accidental, nor confirm homicide. They described it as an active investigation. Words were chosen deliberately. This restraint was not indifference. It was procedure. Amber Foster's case required patience, even as the desire for answers intensified. Detectives reviewed surveillance footage from surrounding streets, not just showing Amber, but showing vehicles, pedestrians, and movement during the critical time window. They examined traffic patterns. Early morning vehicles are easier to notice because there are fewer of them. Any car that slowed, stopped, or deviated from normal flow would be examined closely. They also considered whether Amber had changed direction at any point. A decision to turn, pause, or stop can change everything. But without witnesses, such moments remain hidden unless captured indirectly. Police emphasized that anyone in the area early Sunday morning might hold information without realizing it. A sound, a memory, a moment dismissed at the time could now matter. The challenge is not lack of evidence, it is recognizing which pieces matter. Amber's routine became a focal point. Investigators needed to understand whether the walk was typical or unusual, whether anyone knew she planned to walk that morning. The absence of obvious motive complicated the picture. Crimes without clear motive are harder to predict and explain. They often rely on circumstance rather than planning. What remained constant? Amber left her car and began walking shortly before sunrise, expecting to return. She never did. The truth of what happened in between remained locked within a small stretch of land in Lenexa, Kansas. As the investigation progressed, time itself became central. Investigators focused on the narrow span after Amber was last seen and before she was reported missing. That window was disturbingly short. When a person disappears on foot and is later found less than a mile away, investigators assumed the event unfolded quickly. There was no extended journey. No long-distance transport. Whatever interrupted Amber's walk happened close, fast, and decisively. Police considered the environment. Early morning creates a sense of invisibility. Few people are around. Actions can occur unnoticed. Amber's decision to walk alone was not unusual. Many people do so every day. That normality made the outcome harder to reconcile. Investigators needed to determine whether Amber encountered someone intentionally or unintentionally. No evidence suggested a planned meeting. That absence suggested spontaneity. Spontaneous encounters are among the hardest to trace. They exist only in the moment they occur. Police examined whether Amber may have stopped voluntarily, to rest, check something, or respond to a call. Small choices can change trajectories completely. Every step mattered. The distance between her last sighting and where she was found suggested the critical moment happened.